Good evening and welcome to Online Live Psychic Readings. Tonight we have Niko with us, who's doing a demonstration of Trance Mediumship, which usually involves Niko's guides and inspirers speaking through him to start us all off about a theme that they would like to talk to us about, and then we're open to questions. So without further ado, I'll bring Niko, who's already in trance, onto screen. Good evening.
Greetings to you, my dear one. Once more, a true honor to connect with your essence, and much gratitude for being offered the opportunity to speak. And greetings to all who have joined us this evening. Also, a privilege to connect with all of your essences, to feel your love. Truly an honor, my dear ones. We wish to speak of trust. We ask you to focus on your physical lives and how trust is mostly forced. At times it is difficult to trust another who has crossed your path on your journey. Difficult to trust your decision making, careers, choices, experiences, and most importantly, my dear ones, how you trust any connection to our realm. How you are even questioning this particular form of communication now. Forced trust. Most of the time, my dear ones, it is not genuine. It is not of the heart and of love. It is not of your essence. To trust as you do in our realm, one must fully believe in love. For each time each of you have experienced love, the initial response of that love yielded unconditional trust. Trust and love are united, my dear ones. It is a feeling rather than a thought. It resonates with your essence. My advice to all of you is to trust yourselves. Trust what you feel within. Trust what is in your hearts. For this cannot be masked in your world. It cannot be affected through anyone's actions toward you in your world. For even when one experiences pain by offering the love to another, deep within, my dear ones, the love for that one always remains, for it was given purely. Trust your essence. Trust within. and allow that trust to dictate your actions in your realm. Always believe in yourselves, my dear ones, for you only have yourselves. There are many questions tonight, many thoughts, much clarity you seek. So you may commence, my dear ones, with your questions.
Thank you. I'll say a few hellos first to Tammy and Wendy and Catherine and Tonka and Isabel. If people would like to put your questions in the comments, please. And if you have specific questions, then you can put those in. And if you would like a guidance reading or a link with a specific loved one, or any questions you've got about spirit, now's the time to put them in. I would ask that you keep putting it in, not all the time, but after each reading, put them in, because otherwise all the comments on my screen go down. So we've got Alethea. Alethea Pope, hello everyone. Would love a reading, please. I am so heartbroken.
Of course, my dear. The perception that your heart is broken is merely a perception, my dear, of your realm. You are forgetting to focus on the love. Not only, my dear, the love which you offered, but the love in which you received. You are forgetting to focus on the journey and what lessons were learned through this love. This heartache you mentioned is the longing to feel the love once more. But my dear, as one loves themselves, truly loves themselves, it isn't nearly impossible to allow another to wound your heart, my dear. View this love as your ability to love another, to receive love, and to love yourself. For each relationship, my dear, occurs for its reasons, to find the lessons to learn from, to alter your ways, to alter the one you project to your realm. And do you project love, my dear? Do you trust? Do you accept all? Or are there limitations? Do you accept yourself, my dear, and love yourself fully? Or are there limitations? All, my dear, occur for your growth, rather than remember and feel the pain. Remember and honor that essence who joined you, my dear, and provided the love in order for you to learn to love yourself. There is much to learn, my dear. Continue to learn. I thank you, my dear one.
Alethea follows that up saying, I lost my best friend last week. Always loved everyone.
My dear, again, your perception that there is indeed a loss. No one, my dear, ever truly leaves. For we are all connected through energy, and we are all connected through love. The pain you feel, my dear, is still considered a loss in your mind. You experienced much love. You offered much love. Always with you, my dear. You will always feel their essence, for they will always remain within your heart. This loving connection, my dear one, is proof that the essences are connected through love in our realm. Even within this, my dear, there are lessons to learn about yourself. Open your heart, my dear, to all. Relish in the moments that you are privileged to share time in your realm with them, my dear. Love them even through their imperfections and offer them your truth, your essence, so that they may love you. Do not view anything as a loss, my dear, for that is merely your perception in your realm. There are never losses, only gains. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Isabel asks, I live my life very isolated. Could I change this?
My dear, ask yourself why. Have you decided to live in isolation? This pertains to the trust I mentioned earlier. For one to live isolated, my dear, they fear receiving pain from anyone. They fear exposing their true self to those in your realm. They fear the unexpected. How is one to learn the lessons needed, my dear? By living in your realm. If one selects to live isolated, your question is if you are able to change your current circumstances. Of course, my dear, but the question is, are you ready to face your fears? Are you ready, my dear, to open the old wounds, to face the pain within that you hold so dearly close within the heart? Are you ready, my dear, to offer your love, your compassion, your patience, your gentleness to those in your realm without seeking anything in return? Are you ready, my dear, to welcome difficult circumstances, experiences, in order to learn from pain? These are the questions, my dear, one should ask themselves. It is much simpler, my dear, to hide away. It is simpler to believe that if one is isolated, they are not open to receive pain from others. But what is there to learn, my dear? One needs to trust in their courage. Or you may feel you lack the courage or the strength within this physical form. I assure you, my dear one, your essence is quite courageous. The proof in those words, my dear, the mere fact that you are living a physical life at this time. So believe in yourself, my dear. Do not fear outcomes. Believe in your courage. Believe in your essence. And believe in the love in your heart. And do not fear. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Catherine Johnson asks, will her son Jason pass his driving test third time? I do believe she's been on before asking about him passing the second time, so he obviously didn't last time.
My dear one, rather than assume the title of mother, of parent, of protector, of leader, of tutor, why not, my dear, assume the title of a loving essence, once more joined on the journey in physical realm with another loving essence. As you, my dear, have experienced much in this physical life, and you have learned from those experiences, why not afford him to learn from his? This is your mind, your ego, your human self, pondering his future, worrying of outcomes. Ask yourself, my dear, do you trust his abilities? Do you trust his essence, living his own journey? Do you love his essence, my dear, as you love yours? For it is a connection of love, essence to essence. Honor that, my dear one. For as you are worried of outcomes, he is also, my dear, sensing your worry, which adds more worries to his own. For he is hearing your harsh criticism, my dear. In turn, he is struggling with his own self-worth. Ask yourself, my dear, is this a loving connection between two essences? Merely accept all which is occurring, my dear, with love. There is no need for words. Love him, my dear. For through failures, he is learning lessons about himself. how he views himself, how he believes in himself, and how he can trust himself. Ask yourself, why, my dear, did you assume the role of parent in this lifetime? And how the relationship is based on love and trust. Rather than feel your worries and focus on outcomes for his benefit. Feel his pain, my dear. Feel his suffering. Open your heart so he may feel your love. Words of encouragement, my dear, are not as important as your hug. There will be more challenges, my dear. More tests, if you will, for each of you, in order to overcome these hurdles. Remember, my dear, you are two loving essences bonded by love in our realm, experiencing physical journey together with the titles of parent and child. Do not focus on the titles, my dear. Rather focus on the connection of love between two essences once more. And allow that to lift your worries, your concerns, and your doubts. Allow that to be the air under his wings, my dear, so that he may soar. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Cindy asks, I'm trying to start my own business. However, I think she means prevaricate a lot. I met this guy named John. He said he'd help me. Can we work together? Will this be a good partnership?
My dear, the question is, how do you feel within your heart? Remember, my dear one, he is an essence as you. He is of energy as you. You are able to sense his essence, my dear. Feel his energetic vibration, if you will, when you are near. How does that make you feel, my dear? All relationships in your realm, one is able to gauge through the energy, through the essence, if this relationship is positive and will lead to positive outcomes. By questioning, my dear, by seeking the answer from our realm, one must ask themselves, are you trusting yourself, your intuition, and your feelings? All answers, my dear, are within. The vibrational frequency, my dear, reveals all. Even as you ponder the outcome of this career, how do you feel within? If it feels safe, tranquil, loving, peaceful, If you can manifest and see the future, my dear, are you happy? Is there love? Does he join you in this picture of the future? When the mind is relied on heavily in your realm, one easily forgets to focus on the feeling within. When the mind confuses one, it is quite easy, my dear, to forget that you are in essence, and that what you may perceive to be a crossroad is in fact a lesson of self. Do not rely heavily on the mind. Close your eyes and listen within, my dear. Feel for the answer. Even when you are near him, my dear. Listen as he speaks, my dear. Close your eyes and listen to the vibration of his voice in order to feel his essence. Is it resonating with yours, my dear? Or do you sense a block? Therein, you'll find your answer. As spoken earlier, my dear, it should not be a forced trust. Trust should flow as your energy flows. Focus first, my dear, on your essence, on your own energetic vibration, frequency. And then you will be able to recognize if the career choice, if this partnership exudes similar vibrational frequency as your own. And then, my dear, you will recognize it as pieces of the puzzle which join together. Do not rely on the mind and the forced trusting decisions. Rely on yourself, my dear, first. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. I'd just like to say hello to a few new people coming on. Catherine, Chrissy, Wendy, Bernadette, and Cindy Smith. Cindy, who you just read for, gives some feedback. It feels pretty good, successful, and makes me smile. It differs a bit from my original plan. Thanks a million. Hello to today, Matt and Susan Ross. If people can put their questions into comments, if you could just keep Cindy, it's Niko's end, but my dog's heard it and he's barking in the background. If you can keep putting your comments in the questions as you scroll through, and I need to know that you're still here as well, because with Facebook you get quite a lot of people coming and going, and I don't want to ask a question if you're no longer here. So Cindy Smith, love dogs. Okay, I love you. So let's for a question. Wendy has just asked a general one. Would love a message for myself. Thank you.
Yes, my dear. You do possess an ability to trust. But on the other hand, my dear, it is a question of the ability to believe. The logical mind, the analytical Yes, I sense, my dear, the belief in what you receive. Still that question at times. My question to you is why, my dear? For it is difficult for an analytical person to believe in what is not seen, yet felt. You trust in our realm. You trust in feeling essences. And though you trust, my dear, you question. And if you question our realm, my dear, ask yourself, how much do you question in your realm? Questioning, difficulty with truly believing translates, my dear, to belief in yourself. You are more powerful than you believe to be, my dear. Your intuition is quite powerful. Your decision makings have been quite accurate. And yet you still question. This is because, my dear, you are not fully aware of your essence. And therefore you question yourself. But trust, my dear, this intuition you receive is of your essence. The guidance is of our realm. The decision making is influenced by essence. You are not alone, my dear. Believe in yourself. Believe in our realm. Believe in your essence. Unconditionally, my dear. And you will recognize the difference on your journey. Trust and believe, my dear, go together. As you continue to trust, believe more. Do not always seek, my dear, proof. And this should assist you greatly. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Joan Lewis asks, is mentoring the right direction for me to go in?
Repeat that question again, my dear.
Is mentoring the right direction for me to go in?
Yes, my dear. My question to you is, where did you receive the concept of mentoring? Was this something you heard within, my dear? Intuition? A message within the dream state? Or is it a thought which you, mind, created as a means for financial gain? Ask yourself, my dear, where the idea of mentoring originated. And within that And lies your answer. When one mentors, my dear, it is from a selfless act, in a loving place, my dear, where one offers their time, their dedication to assist others in succeeding, in learning, in bettering themselves, to assist in their journey. A selfless act, my dear, where one does not seek anything in return. Where is your focus? On the return or on the giving? Allow it to be from your heart, my dear. Remember where this thought originated. And trust, my dear. Trust in the decision. For you have already made the decision. Remain humbled, my dear. For not all are called to be mentors. Speak your truth, my dear. Remain humble, as they are relying on you for assistance and clarity. Speak from your heart, my dear, in order to speak your truth. Allow what you receive, my dear, to always be less than what you offer. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Patrick Monaghan's often on here, but he rarely asks a question, but he has tonight, so I was keen to get his question up. Could you ask why I see boxes of food and many children as I closed my eyes last week? Am I meant to help them?
My dear one, as you asked that question, you also have answered it. Yes, I sense your powerful connection to our realm. Truly, a connection of love, my dear. You are a humbled man in your realm, always seeking to assist, placing others before yourself on this journey. I am also sensing this is not how you have always been on this journey. And yet, you have learned the power of our realm through connection. The symbol of the box of food is a metaphor, my dear. The children is quite symbolic for your journey. For there is a new generation approaching who shall be in need of mentoring. Many will come forth, my dear. Yes, your journey consists of unity with others. Others who also share a powerful, loving connection, the understanding of selflessness. of the dedication and commitment to our realm. You are part of a team, if you will, in your realm. And this group, my dear one, are intended to play a vital role for the children of your future. Yes, I also sense being content with what is comfortable for you now, though you have received much clarity, focusing on different avenues, if you will, different modalities, different resources. You have not yet committed to those. For there is comfort within the modality you are currently servicing, as well as a harmonious life in your realm. Visions, clarity, information received are all being sent, my dear, through your essence. As a gentle reminder, if you will, that there is more to do, more to join with, and more to serve. I repeat, my dear, a gentle reminder. For the outcome is all up to you. Are you prepared to step out of your comfort zone? Are you prepared to trust our realm even more than you do now? Are you prepared to perhaps lose in order to gain? Are you prepared to be your essence in your realm? To truly be your essence in your realm? I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you. Again, I'd like for people just to keep commenting in the comments, please, so I know that you're still here. I know it's difficult to think about commenting when you're just watching, but Patrick says thank you and very much agrees with the information that you've given us. If I just scroll back a little bit, we've got T-Lyn. Are you still here, T-Lyn? I think it's Teresa. And she's asking,
Allow
what
me, my
is
dear,
my God?
Allow me to
Yes,
interject one more thing to the gentleman. My dear one,
absolutely.
in order to provide a bit more clarity, I ask you to reflect on the many occasions during this journey where you were able to see but did not act. Not only, my dear, visions you receive, clarity, but on occurrences in your own realm where you have noticed understood how you would prove to be effective, and yet resisted to act upon. Reflect on your journey to understand yourself better. And then you will understand when you see in our realm and hesitate to act. The patterns, my dear one, occur in your realm. It is simpler not to take action, to remain safe and comfortable. But the courage is to step out of the comfort. Within both realms, my dear one, safety limits courage. Safety limits growth. Your connection is quite powerful because your essence is quite powerful. Do not underestimate your source. For it only takes one moment to step out of your comfort zone, to recognize your true abilities as well as your true power. Remember that, my dear one. And I thank you.
Thank you. Chrissy Stookbury, you haven't heard back from T-Lens, so Chrissy Stookbury, if I scroll back, I'm sure you asked a question, yes. Wondering if my guides are keeping me safe and if I'm going on the right path in my life.
My dear one, I ask you a question. How do you perceive your connection to your guides? Another question, my dear. Are you aware of who your guides are? And the final connection, my dear. The final question, my dear. Are you aware that your essence resides in our realm? Now, my dear, allow us to focus on the final question asked. If you believe, my dear, your essence resides in our realm, then the follow-up question is, do you believe you have an essence within your physical form? If the answer to these two, my dear, is yes, then it is safe to assume that the essence occupying your physical form is always connected, my dear, to your. Now, do you believe at any time, my dear, your own essence in our realm is not protecting you, is not assisting you, is not offering you clarity, is not the loving essence felt numerous times when you were facing despair, loneliness, and pain? Protection, my dear. To question if one is protected is the fear of your realm. You are always protected, my dear, by your own essence in our realm. Always, my dear. The beautiful essences who are as well, my dear, serve more as teachers. They are there to enlighten you, to assist you within your own remembrance of self. The protection, the connection, that loving bond of your own essence is much more powerful, my dear, than any guide. Believe in yourself, my dear. Begin to look within, to remember your own essence, my dear, and you shall always feel protection and love. As for the inquiry of your journey, this, my dear, is where you are able to turn to the essences who have joined and focus on their energy, my dear. Remember who they are. For all those essences, my dear, who have joined you on this journey, hold you in high esteem. Their love for you is truly unconditional. Trust in that, my dear one. Speak with them, but be prepared to listen for the answer. As an essence, my dear, ask yourself, are you implementing service to our realm as you are living in yours? Then, my dear, you will be more aware if in fact you are traveling this journey as you were intended to. If you are uncertain, my dear, rely on those beautiful essences who are assisting you. And allow them to afford you that answer. I thank you, my dear one.
Thank you, that's lovely. Unfortunately, we've come to time now. So if you would like to give some closing words, as I know that you like to. Thank you.
And I thank you, my dear one. Much gratitude to all who have joined, who have offered their questions. We shall end as we commenced. Trust, my dear ones. As you each heard the answers, you were able to feel our essence, both near and within your hearts, which afforded you to trust what you heard. It was not a forced trust, as we are not part of your realm. Your focus was not on your realm, but rather on what you were feeling, experiencing, learning, listening to. And that is where trust is the strongest, my dear ones. I assure you, it is not necessary to connect to our world through another in yours, as you are all obtain the ability of the same connection. Rather than ask questions, seek to learn how to enhance your own connection to our realm, your own connection to self in our realm, your own connection to those beautiful essences assisting you. Seek, my dear ones, and trust what it is you find. If it is mentors, trust their connection. If it is yourself, trust your connection. But begin to trust and learn more of our realm in order to be able to trust in yours. And I assure you, difficulties, worries, fear, doubt shall all be of the past. Enjoy your journey, my dear ones. It is truly a remarkable journey, and much gratitude and honor to each of you for attending this evening.
Thank you, Noah. And while we wait for Niko to return, I'll just let you know a little bit about tomorrow, because we've got a full day of readings tomorrow. All of these are UK time. So at 12 o'clock, we've got readings with Christine. 3:30, we've got readings with Sheila. 5 o'clock, we've got crystal animal readings with Lainey. 6 o'clock, we've got healing with myself. And then at 7 o'clock, we've got readings with Debbie Romano, and 9 o'clock, lessons and learning with Larkin. So full day of readings. You can find us on Find Me a Medium on YouTube, or on online live psychic readings on Facebook. So please do come along, as you've found tonight. All readings are free, and we just enjoy your company. If you would like to subscribe to just 99p group we've got, that means you can go onto the group where this is streamed live, where there's no scammers, because you've got to put your details in to be a subscriber. But there are additional readings on there for people, etc. Okay. Niko, hello.
Hi, guys.
You were deep tonight. It took you a while to get back. Good session. Thank you.
Beautiful connection. Thank you.
Really good. Thank you. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Night, everybody. Thank you for joining us.